let's talk about when you have to put embroidery on a chef jacket, because a lot of industry standard rules are broken when you have to do a chef's jacket. Number one rule that's broken is that normally what we do is we come down from where the collar meets the shirt. We come down, 6, 7, 8 inches, and that's where we put the monogram. Well, you can't do that on a chef jacket because of the way that the buttons lay. So you're going to have to move over. A lot of times a chef jacket will actually have a pocket that you can use as a guide for where you're going to monogram. But if it doesn't have a pocket, what I recommend that you do is visualize a pocket on there and then put your monogramming right there where the pocket would be. You'd put the monogram right above where the pocket would be. Another standard that is broken when you are doing a chef jacket, and this is 100% me talking from experience because you of course have to talk to your customer. But normally on a chef jacket, they want it a little bit bigger than 1/2 inch. So industry standard for a name on a jacket or a business shirt is 1/2 inch tall. However, I have learned over the years that chefs like it a little bit bigger. So I did go a little bit bigger, and I'll show you all of that in Design Shop. Now, unfortunately, you can't ask your customer, hey, do you want that to be a 1/2 inch tall or do you want that to be 3/4 of an inch tall? They cannot visualize what you're talking about. You look at it constantly, so it's very easy for you to visualize it, but for them, they're not really sure. So what I recommend you do is in Design Shop, type it out. I'm going to show you how to click a button that's called actual size. And then I'm also going to show you how to click a button that puts it in stitches. So what you could do is you could print that piece of paper on your printer and lay it on the jacket and show them, hey, do you like this size or do you like that size? That lets your customer know, hey, I really care about what you want. I'm going to save what you like for all of your future orders. That's really going to let them know that you are professional and that you really care about what they actually want. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about pockets. Pockets are rarely put on the item correctly. They are usually a little bit off, right? They're a little bit off. You'll see that on scrubs. You'll see that on doctor jackets. So I know it's very hard if you're a perfectionist, but believe me, trust me, you have to go with the line of the pocket. Because if you don't go with the line of the pocket, then your embroidery is going to look crooked. And the customer is not calling the person who made the jacket saying, hey, you put the pocket on there crooked. No, they're going to call you because the embroidery is going to look crooked to them. So you have to just kind of put your perfectionism in your pocket for the moment and just go with the crookedness of the pocket. Go with the line of the pocket. This jacket, thankfully, is straight, so I'm very grateful. So also, another thing about jackets, chef jackets, scrubs, doctor jackets, they usually will put a pin in their pocket. So when you put a pin in the pocket, that pin sticks out approximately 1 inch, kind of like this. So what you want to do is you want to let your monogramming start, like the bottom of your monogramming. You want to space the bottom of your monogramming to the top of the pocket. You want that little space to be about 1 inch. So thankfully, the machine has a laser that we can trace, and we can make sure that when we trace, the bottom of the trace is going to hit our chalk line or pin line or however you have decided to mark that. So I am going to use a piece of cutaway. This is the heaviest cutaway that I can find. I believe this is 3.1 ounces of very heavy cutaway. You can use the Mighty Hoop. This would be a great hoop for this because it does have a straight line, and it would be easy for you to look at the pocket line with this particular hoop. But I always like to show you what you already own this, because this comes with the machine. So this would be great. However, this is perfectly fine too. So you go ahead and you put your backing in your item. Now, if you're new to embroidery, don't buy pre-cut pieces because it makes it too tricky for you to make sure that the backing is completely covering this ring, which is so important. The quality of your embroidery as a whole will be so much better if you make sure that that backing 100% covers that ring and that it's nice and taut, not tight, just taught. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of moving the ring around in there a little bit, and then I'm going to use my hoop. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the line of the pocket with the hoop lines. The hoop actually has some markings on it here and here. You can also use the screws to do, to line it up. Just make sure that the line of that pocket is straight in that hoop. I am going to lower this table because it's a little bit high for me, and then let's put it on the machine. So when I hooped it, I made sure that my hoop was perfectly centered with the pocket, and then I did put my little chalk mark right there so that I want the laser to touch that bottom line so that I know that my embroidery will be an inch up from the bottom of the pocket. So we're just going to go ahead and slip this on. Check your spellings. Always check your spellings backwards. If you check them from left to right, you'll go too fast. But if you check them backwards, that will save you a little bit of heartache. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rectangle and the star, and I'm going to go ahead and trace it out, and I'm going to watch my red laser to make sure that it hits my chalk mark. So I actually need to move it up a little bit. I'm going to use the rectangle and the arrow up to go up a little bit higher. When you press just the laser by itself right here, that is the dead center of the design. Okay, I have it exactly where I want it. I have the right color, I have the right spelling, and so here we go. It was approximately 4,000 stitches, so it took approximately 4 minutes, and the setup may have taken me 2 minutes. So the price for this is $17, and it took me approximately, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes total by the time I hooped it, set it up, taking the backing off, getting it packaged. So there you go. I'll show you how it looks. Looks good. For setting this up, what you're going to do is you're going to click on the screen. I'm going to start typing in CAF. Now I need an E with an accent, so I'm going to hit a space. Then I'm going to hit another space because I need a space between the two words. Then I'm going to type in NU, capital NU. Then I'm going to say enter. And then I'm going to double click, and that's going to open up my object properties. Go ahead and choose the font that you would like. So for me, it's League Script. So when I start typing it in, it pops up for me right here. Now, if for some reason your character list is not showing, maybe you need to open this window up a little bit. All you're going to do is click on it, and then it'll pop up for you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the accent that they told me to use. So I put my cursor right here after the F. Here's the accent that they told me to use. So I just double click on it, and then it pops up for me. Now I put my cursor right here at the end of the first line and say enter. Now I just type in the rest of the information that I need. And again, when you're talking about chef jackets, a lot of times they want it to be bigger, but please talk to your customer and decide what they would like. For this particular height, typical left chest, for the size for a left chest name is usually 1/2 inch, 0.5. But here I went 0.64, and then I'll say okay. So now this right here is actual size. So if you click on this, and you also make sure that this button is clicked because that actually shows it in stitches, you can then print this out for your customer, place it on the jacket, or you could, you can show them 2 different sizes. You can duplicate this. You can make this, a little bit bigger and ask them which one they would like. So it's too hard for them to try to figure out what 1/2 inch looks like or what 3/4 of an inch looks like. So this is an option for you, and then you just come over here and go File, Print, and then that way you can print it out and show it to your customer to decide what they would like. And I didn't change any of the settings. I just went with the default settings that I received when I typed it in. Came out great.